It's Women's Month in South Africa, and we can't let the time go by without honouring women who have made and continue to make a difference in society. The 1000 Women Trust commemorated its 20th anniversary last week. The Trust aims to promote women's rights and women empowerment. Ahead of Women's Day on Wednesday, we're now joined by Tina Tiart, co-founder and trustee, as well as a women's rights activist. Tina, thank you so much and welcome to the show here on Newsnight. Can you tell me first about some of the broader 1000 Women initiatives that you undertake?
I'm sorry, it looks like I've lost you on visuals. But 1000 Women actually work with small community-based organizations, and we provide support to victims of gender-based violence.
So just to give our viewers a bit of a broader sense, you have soup kitchens all over, anti-bullying campaigns specifically targeting bullying in schools to try and empower teachers and parents, anti-gender-based violence initiatives, employment drives to try and give women access to employment to live a more dignified life. So those are some of the broader initiatives. But you are also busy with a specific initiative this Women's Day focusing on women's rights with regard to protection orders and parental rights. Can you tell me a little bit more?
Yes, that's correct. You know, in the last few months, we have had a number of women reporting that perpetrators are actually laying charges against them at the police station and getting protection orders against them in an attempt for them to drop the cases. So with the new legislation and what is happening around protection orders, it seems there's a bit of a gap between the protocols, and we want to address that. So we're asking all women to report to us and to tell us if any of these incidences happen. I mean, we had women going to a court to protest and to make the court aware of the seriousness of the offense. The next week, 5 of the women got protection orders against them. So even the activists are being targeted, and we really want to address that, because that was not the idea of the protection orders. The idea was to protect the victim. So how can a perpetrator now also have the same rights as a victim?
And while it is Women's Month, I think it's important to reflect a balanced view, and that it's not just men weaponizing protection orders. I know it is Women's Month and it might make me very unpopular for saying this, but there are women who use protection orders against their partners as a way to try and leverage money out of them. We know the situation with payment of maintenance is fraught with conflict and complexities on both sides. But what are you trying to do in terms of trying to protect the rights of everybody in the situation, and especially children, who are probably the most vulnerable victims?
I can't agree with you more. The children are who suffer. They're the ones who feel the loss. They're the ones who don't have the financial support or the love of the fathers because of conflict between the parents or ex-parents. I'm not sure what they are called when you're divorced, but the parent's still a parent. But I really want to emphasize that most of the cases every day we see and we hear is where women do not get the maintenance needed to help the children. Many women, today again, somebody told me 5 years now, they have been going to court up and down to get a merely 1,000 rand from a father to support the child's well-being. Now, until we have changed that, where we can say there are more women who are perpetrators, until that time, I think the case is still, we need to talk to fathers. It's not just about the money. It's also about showing your support. It's also being on the side of your child, so your child have a balanced life. So yeah, no, I don't think. I think very few of women are perpetrators, and it's usually because they are out of their wits. Women do not know their rights. We have to inform them and we have to support them because at the moment they're still at loss.
With those rights come responsibilities in making sure it is balanced and fair. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing in terms of educating women about their rights and responsibilities, and especially also in terms of eradicating gender-based violence.
Yes, for the last 2020, we went on WhatsApp with our education of women, with our trainings and capacity building. And we have managed to support 10,000 women to know how to and what are your rights when you go to a report, when you go to the various service deliveries, but more so how to support a friend, a sister, somebody in need, so that they can also have their rights met when they go to report. We have also done anti-bully courses. 5,000 teachers and parents have been trained in the last 2 years about how to deal with bullying in schools. And I must tell you, although the schools appear that they are trying, very few schools actually have a policy in place and actually do educate their learners, teachers, and parents about what should happen in the case of bullying. And for us who don't know, 75% of bullies in school become perpetrators of gender based violence. So it's something that we have to address, really have to address.
It's such a broad spectrum of things that you're involved in, and part of your role is to hold government to account in its attempts and failures to address these various issues effectively. How are you doing that?
Yes, we do a lot of advocacy and a lot of awareness raising with government, with the police, with the clinics. But the one thing that we have realized is that we actually have to keep every South African accountable. It's still, we have to go back where your child is my child, where we have to go to villages, to communities, where every one of us have to report. If you see something, say something. If you need help, if you don't know how to deal with it, give us a call. We will support you. And also, furthermore, to strengthen the hand of police and clinic, to go with women to the courts. We've just done a research. 95% of the women said that they don't want family members to go with them when they report because they discourage them. So we need women in communities to stand up and say, we will find the solutions. We can make a change in our community.
Thank you so much for your time and for giving us some insights into the work that you do. That initiative is taking place tomorrow at 11 at Artscape. That was Tina Tiart from the 1000 Women's Trust. Do get involved in some of those women's initiatives right across the country as we celebrate Women's Day on Wednesday.